Okay, starting with Caitanya Caritamrita, Adi Lila, Volume 1. Bande Guru Nishabhaktam, Isham Ishvara Tarakan, Tat Prakasham Chatat Shakti, Krishna Chaitanya Samgitam Sangyakam. I offer my respectful obeisance to the spiritual masters, the devotees, and the Lord's incarnations, His plenary portions, His energies, and the primeval Lord Himself, Shri Chaitanya. Vande Shri Krishna Chaitanya Nityananda Sahoduto Gododaya Pushpavanto Chitro Sando Tamonuda. I offer my respectful obeisance unto Sri Krishna Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda, who are like the sun and the moon. They have arisen simultaneously on the horizon of Goda to dissipate the darkness of ignorance and thus wonderfully bestow benediction on all. Yadadvaitam Brahmopanishada Tadapyasya Tanuva Yad Atmantar Yami Purusha Iti So Shamsa Vibaha Sad Aishvaryai Purno Yahiya Bhagavan Sat Swayam Ayam Na Chaitanyat Krishnan Jagati Paratattvam Paramiha. What the Upanishads describe as the impersonal Brahman is but the effulgence of his body, and the Lord known as the Supersoul is but his localized plenary portion. Lord Chaitanya is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna himself, full with 6 opulences. He is the absolute truth, and no other truth is greater or equal to him. Arnarpita Chiram Chirat Kunayavat Tirna Kalo Samarpayatam Unaj Tojala Rasam Sabhakti Rashiyam Hari Purata Sundara Duti Kadamba Sandipata Sada Hridaya Kandare Spuratu Va Sachinandana. May the Supreme Lord, who is known as the son of Srimati Sachi Devi, be transcendently situated in the innermost chambers of your hearts. Resplendent with the radiance of molten gold, he has appeared in the age of Kali by his causeless mercy to bestow what no incarnation has ever offered before, the most sublime and radiant mellow of devotional service, the mellow of conjugal love. Wow. Radha Krishna Pranaya Vivikta Ladini Shakti Rasman Ekat Mahavapi Bhuvi Pura Deha Vedam Gatota Chaitanyakyam Prakatam Aduna Tadvayam Chaikyam Aptam Radha Bhava Duti Suvalitam Nomi Krishna Swarupam. The loving affairs of Sri Radha and Krishna are transcendental manifestations of the Lord's internal pleasure-giving potency. Although Radha and Krishna are one in their identity, they separated themselves eternally. Now these two transcendental identities have again united in the form of Sri Krishna Chaitanya. I bow down to him who has manifested himself with the sentiment of complexion of Srimati Radharani, although he's Krishna himself. Shri Radhaya Pranaya Mahima Kidrisho Vinayva Sad Swad Yo Yenad Bhuta Madhuri Mima Kidrisho Va Madhyaha Sokam Chasya Mad Anubhavata Kidrisham Veti Lobat Tad Bhavadaya Samajani Sachigarba Sindo Harindu. Desiring to understand the glory of Radharani's love, the wonderful qualities in him that she alone relishes through her love, and the happiness she feels when she realizes the sweetness of his love, the Supreme Lord Hari, richly endowed with her emotions, appeared on the womb of Sachi Mata. from the ocean. Sankarshana Karana Toya Shayi Garboda Shayi Cha Payobda Shayi Sheshasta Yas Yamsa Kala Sanitya Nandakya Rama Sharanam Mamasu. May Shri Nityananda Ram be the object of my constant remembrance. Sankarshan. Shesha Naga and the Vishnus who lie in the Karna ocean, Garbhodak ocean, are his plenary portions and the portions of his plenary portions. Mayati te vyapi Vaikuntaloke Purnaishvarye Shri Chatur Vyuha Madhye Rupam Yas Yod Bhati Sankarshanakyam Tam Shri Nityananda Ramam Papadye. I surrender the lotus feet of Nityananda Ram, who is known as Sankarshan, in the midst of the Chaturvyuha, consisting of Vasudev, Sankarshan, Pradyumna, and Aniruddha. He possesses all opulences, and he resides in the Vaikuntha Loka, far beyond the material creation. Maya Bharta Jana Sangashayanga Shete Sakshat Karanam Bodhi Madhye Yasyai Kamsa Shri Puman Adi Devas Tam Shri Nityananda Ramam Prapadyate. I offer my full obeisances to the feet of Nityananda Ram, whose partial representation, called Karanadakashaya Vishnu, lying on the Karna ocean, is the original Purusha, the master of the illusory energy and the shelter of all universes. Yasyam Samsam Srila Garbhodashayi Yanab Yabjam Loka Sangata Nalam Loka Shastu Sutika Dhamma Dhatus Tam Shri Nityananda Ramam Prapadye. I offer my obeisances unto the lotus feet of Nityananda Ram, a partial part of whom is the Garbhodakashaya Vishnu. From the navel of Garbhodakashaya Vishnu sprouts the lotus that is the birthplace of Brahma, the engineer of the universe. The stem of that lotus is the resting place of the multitude of planets. Yasyam Sam Sham Sa Paratmakila Nam Poshta Vishnur Bhati Dugdabdi Shayi Choni Bharta Yat Kala Sop Yanantas Tam Shri Nityananda Ramam Prapadye. I offer my respectful obeisance to the lotus feet of Shri Nityananda Ram, who is a secondary part of the Vishnu lying in the whose secondary part is the Vishnu lying in the ocean of milk. That Kshirodakashaya Vishnu is the super soul of all living entities and the maintainer of all the universes. Sheshanaga is his further support. Mahavishnu Jagatkarta Mayaya Yat Shijat Yada Tasya Vatara Evayam Advaitacharya Ishvara. Lord Advaitacharya is the incarnation of Mahavishnu, whose main function is to create the cosmic world through the actions of Maya. Advaitam Harin Advaitad Acharyam Bhakti Samsanat Bhaktavataram Isham Tam Advaitacharya Ishvara. Because he is not different from Hari, the Supreme Lord, he is called Advaita. And because he propagates the cult of devotion, he is called Acharya. He is the Lord and the incarnation of the Lord's devotee. Therefore I take shelter of him. Panchatatmakam Krishnam Bhakta Rupa Sarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakti Shaktikam. I offer my obeisance on the Supreme Lord Krishna, who is non-different from his features as a devotee, devotional incarnation, devotional manifestation, pure devotee, and devotional energy. Jayatam Sudatopangor Mama Mandir Matergati Matsarvasya Padambojo Radha Madana Mohano. Glory to the all-merciful Radha and Madan Mohan. I am lame and ill-advised, yet they are my directors, and their lotus feet are everything to me. Divyad Vrindaranya Kalpadrumada Shrimad Ratnagara Singhasana Sto Shrimad Radha Shila Govinda Devo Prestalibi Sevyamano Smarami. In the Temple of Jewels in Vrindavan, underneath the desire tree, Shri Radha Govinda is served by their most confidential associates, sit on an effulgent throne. I offer my humble obeisances to them. Shriman Rasa Rasarambi Vamsi Vata Tatastitaha Kanks Karshan Venu Sanar Gopi Gopinatha Sri Ishtunaha. Shri Srila Gopinath, who originated the transcendental mellow of the rasa dance, stands on the shore of the Vamsivat and attracts the attention of the cowherd damsels. With the sound of his celebrated flute, may they all confer upon us their benediction. Jaya Jaya Shri Caitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Glory to Shri Krishna Chaitanya and Nityananda, glory to Advaita Chandra, and glory to all the devotees of Lord Gaura, Lord Chaitanya. Etina Thakur Godi Yake Kadayachena Atmasat Etina Charana Vandori Tina Morahata. Tina Moranat. These three deities of Vrindavan, Madan Mohan, Govinda, and Gopinath, have absorbed the heart and soul of the Gaudiya Vaishnavas, followers of the Lord Chaitanya. I worship their lotus feet, for they are the lords of my heart. The author of Sri Caitanya Caritamrita offers respectful obeisances to the three deities of Vrindavan, named Sri Radha Madan Mohan, Sri Radha Govinda Dev, and Sri Radha Gopinath Ji. These three deities are the life and soul of the Gaudiya Vaishnavas, followers of Lord Chaitanya. They are the lords of my heart. Grantera Arabbe Kari Mangalacharana Guru Vaishnava Bhagavan Tinera Smarana. In the beginning of this narration, simply by remembering the spiritual master, the devotees of the Lord and the personality of Godhead, I have invoked their benedictions. Tinera Smarane Haya Vigna Vinashana Anya Anayase Haya Nija Vanchita Purana. Such remembrances destroys all difficulties and very easily enables one to fulfill his own desires. Se Mangala Charana Hoya Trivida Prakar Vastu Nirdesha Ashirvada Namaskar. The invocation involves three processes: defining the objective, offering obeisances, benedictions, and offering obeisances. Pratama Dui Shloke Ishta Deva Namaskar Samanya Vishesha Rupe Duita Prakar. The first two verses offer respectful obeisances, generally and specifically, to the Lord, who is the object of worship. Tritiya Shlokete Kari Vastura Nirdesh Yaha Hoite Jani Para Tatvara Udesh. In the third verse, I indicate the absolute truth, who is the ultimate substance. With such description, one can visualize the supreme truth. Chaturta Shlokete Kari Jagate Ashirvad Sarvata Magiya Krishna Chaitanya Prasad. In the fourth verse, I have invoked the benediction of the Lord upon all the world, praying to Lord Chaitanya. Se Shloke Kahi Bhaya Vatara Karana Pancha Shasta Shloke Kahi Mula Prayojana. In that verse, I have also explained the external reason for Lord Chaitanya's incarnation. But in the fifth and sixth verses, I have explained the prime reason for his advent. Echaya Shloke Kahi Caitanyara Tattva Adi Pancha Shloke Nityanandara Mahatva. In these 6 verses I have described the truth about Lord Chaitanya, whereas in the next 5 I have described the glory of Lord Nityananda. Ada Dui Shloke Advaita Tattva Kyanan Ada Eka Shloke Pancha Tattvara Vyakyana. The next 2 verses describe the truth of Advaita Prabhu, and the following verse describes the Pancha Tattva, the Lord, his plenary portion, his incarnation, and his energies, and his devotee. E Choda Shloke Kari Mangalacharana Tane Majje Kahi Shaba Vastu Nirupana. These 14 verses, therefore, are the auspicious invocation and describe the supreme truth. Sabha Shrota Vaishnavera Kari Namaskar. E Sabha Shlokera Kari Arta Vichar. I offer my obeisances to all my Vaishnava readers, so that as I begin to explain the intricacies of all these verses. Shlokala Vaishnava Shunakari Ekamana Caitanya Krishnara Shastra Mata Nirupana. I request all my Vaishnava readers to read and hear with rapt attention this narration of Sri Chaitanya as inculcated in the revealed scriptures. Krishna Guru Bhakta Shakti Avatar Prakash Krishna Echaya Rupe Karina Vilas. Lord Krishna enjoys by manifesting himself as a spiritual master, the devotees, the diverse energies, the incarnations, and the plenary portions. They are all 6 in one. Echaya Tatvara Kari Charanabandhan Pratame Samanye Kari Mangalacharan. I therefore worship the lotus feet of those 6 diversities in the one truth by invoking their benediction. Bande Guruni Shabaktan Isham Ishvavatarakan Tat Prakasams Chatat Chakti Krishna Chaitanya Samgatam. I offer my respectful obeisance on the spiritual masters, the devotees of the Lord's incarnations and his plenary portions, his energies, and the primeval Lord himself, Krishna Chaitanya. Purport. Krishnadas Kaviraj has composed a Sanskrit verse for the beginning of his book, and now he will explain it in detail. He offers his respectful obeisances to all the 6 principles of the Absolute Truth. Gurun is plural in number because anyone who gives spiritual instruction based on the revealed scriptures is accepted as a spiritual master. Although devotees, others may give help in showing the way to beginners, the Guru who first initiates one with the Mahamantra is said to be known as the initiator, and the saints who give instructions for progressive advancement in Krishna consciousness are called instructing spiritual masters. The initiating and spiritual masters are equal and identical manifestations of Krishna, although they have different dealings. Their function is to guide the conditioned souls back to home, back to Ganya. Therefore, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami accepted Nityananda Prabhu and the 6 Goswamis in the category of Guru. Isha Bhaktan refers to the devotees of the Lord like Sri Srivas and all other such followers who are the energy of the Lord and are qualitatively non-different from him. Ishavatarakan refers to acharyas like Advaita Prabhu, who is an avatar of the Lord. Tat Prakasan indicates the direct manifestation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Nityananda Prabhu, and the initiating spiritual master. Tat Shakti refers to the spiritual energies, Shaktis of the Supreme Krishna, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Gadadhar, Damodar, and Jagadananda belong to this category of internal energy. The 6 principles are differently manifested, but all equally worshipable. Krishnadas Kaviraj begins by offering his obeisances unto them to teach us the method of worshiping Lord Chaitanya. The external potency of Godhead, called Maya, can never associate with the Lord, just as darkness cannot remain in the presence of light. Yet darkness, being but an illusory and temporary covering of light, has no existence independent of light. Mantra Guru Ara Yata Shiksha Guru Gana Tanhara Chadana Age Kariye Vandana. I first offer my obeisance to the lotus feet of my initiating spiritual master and all my instructing spiritual masters. Report. Srila Jiva Goswami in his thesis Bhakti Sandarbha has stated that uncontaminated devotional service is the object of pure Vaishnavas, and that one who has to execute such services in the association of other devotees. By associating with devotees of Lord Krishna, one develops a sense of Krishna consciousness and thus becomes inclined toward the loving service of the Lord. This is the process of approaching the Supreme Lord by gradual appreciation. In devotional service, if one desires unalloyed devotional service, one must associate with devotees of Sri Krishna. For by such association only can a conditioned soul achieve a taste If one develops love for Krishna by Krishna-conscious activities, one can know the Supreme Absolute Truth. But he who tries to understand God simply by logical arguments will not succeed. He will get a taste for unalloyed, nor will he get a taste for unalloyed service. Devotion. The secret is that one must submissively listen to those who know perfectly the science of God, and one must begin the mode of service regulated by the preceptor. A devotee already attracted by the name, form, qualities, etc. of the Supreme Lord may be directed to his specific manner of devotional service. He need not waste time in approaching the Lord through logic. The expert spiritual master knows well how to engage his disciples' energy in the transcendental loving service of the Lord, and thus he engages the devotee in a specific devotional service according to his special tendency. A devotee must have only one initiating spiritual master, because in the scriptures, acceptance of more than one is always forbidden. There is no limit, however, to the number of instructing spiritual masters one may accept. Generally, a spiritual master who constantly instructs a disciple in spiritual science becomes its initiating spiritual master later on. One should always remember that a person who is reluctant to accept a spiritual master and be initiated is sure to be baffled in his endeavor to go back to Godhead. One who is not properly initiated may present himself as a great devotee, but in fact he is sure to encounter many stumbling blocks on his path, a progressive in his path towards spiritualization, with the result that he must continue his term of material existence without relief. Such a helpless person is compared to a ship without a rudder, for such a ship can never reach the destination. It is imperative, however, that one accept a spiritual master if he at all desires to gain the favor of the Lord. The service to the spiritual master is essential. If there is no chance to serve the spiritual master directly, a devotee should serve him by remembering his instructions. There is no difference between the spiritual master's instructions and the spiritual master himself. In his absence, therefore, the words of direction should be the pride of the disciple. If one thinks that he is above consulting anyone else, including a spiritual master, he is at once an offender to the lotus feet of the Lord. Such an offender can never go back to Godhead. It is imperative that a serious person accept a bona fide spiritual master in terms of the Shastric injunctions. Srila Jiva Goswami advises that one not accept a spiritual master in terms of heredity or customary social and ecclesiastic conventions. One should simply try to find a genuinely qualified spiritual master for actual advancement in spiritual understanding. Shri Rupa Sanatana Bhatta Raghunath, Shri Jiva Gopal Bhatta Dasa Raghunath. My instructing spiritual masters are Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, Bhatta Goswami, Jiva Goswami, and Gopal Bhatta Goswami, and Shri Raghunath Das Goswami. H.I. Guru, Shiksha Guru, Yayamar, Tan Sabara Pada Padme, Koti Namaskar. These six are my instructing spiritual masters, and therefore I offer millions of respectful obeisances to their lotus feet. Purport. By accepting the six Goswamis as the spiritual masters, the author specifically makes it clear that one should not be recognized as a Gaudiya Vaishnava if he's not obedient to them. Bhagavanera Bhakta Yata Shivasa Pradhan Tan Sabara Pada Padme Sahasra Pranam. There are innumerable devotees of the Lord, of whom Srivas Thakur is the foremost. I offer my respectful obeisances thousands of times to their lotus feet. Advaita Charya Prabhu Amsa Avatar Tanra Pada Padme Koti Pranati Amar. Advaita Charya is the Lord's partial incarnation, and therefore I offer my obeisances millions of times at his lotus feet. Nityananda Roy Prabhu Swarupa Prakash Tanra Pada Padma Bando Yanra Muidas. Sri Nityananda Ram is the plenary manifestation of the Lord, and I have been initiated by him. I therefore offer my respectful obeisances to his lotus feet. Gadadhar Panditadi Prabhu Nija Shakti Tan Sabara Charane Mora Sahasra Pranati. I offer my respectful obeisances under the internal potencies of the Lord, of whom Sri Gadadhar Prabhu is the most prominent, foremost. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Swayam Bhagavan Tanhar Pradara Vinda Ananta Pranam. Lord Shri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the personality of Godhead himself. Therefore I offer innumerable prostrations at his lotus feet. Savarane Prabhuda Kariya Namaskar Echai Tenho Yaiche Kariya Vichar. Having offered obeisances to the Lord and all his associates, I shall now try to explain these six diversities in one. There are many unalloyed devotees, purport, of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, all of whom are considered associates surrounding the Lord. Krishna should be worshipped with his devotees. The diverse principles are therefore the eternal paraphernalia through which the absolute truth can be approached. Yadyapi Amara Guru Chaitanya Radas Tatapi Janiye Ami Tanhara Prakash. Although I know that my spiritual master is a servitor of Lord Chaitanya, I also know him as a plenary manifestation of the Lord. Purport. Every living entity is essentially a servant of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and the spiritual master is also his servant. Still, the spiritual master is a direct manifestation of the Lord. With this conviction, the disciple can advance in Krishna consciousness. The spiritual master is non-different from Krishna because he is the manifestation of Krishna. Lord Nityananda, who is Balaram himself, the first direct manifestation or expansion of Krishna, is the original spiritual master. He helps Lord Krishna in his pastimes, and he is the servant of the Lord. Every living entity is eternally a servant of Sri Krishna Chaitanya. Therefore, the spiritual master cannot be other than a servant of Lord Chaitanya. Spiritual master's eternal occupation is to expand the service of the Lord by training disciples in a service attitude. The spiritual master never poses as Supreme Lord himself. He is considered a representative of the Lord. The revealed scriptures prohibit one's pretending to be God, but a bona fide spiritual master is most faithful and confidential servant of the Lord, and therefore deserves as much respect as Krishna. Next verse. Guru Krishna Rupa Haya Hana Shastyara Pramani. Guru Rupe Krishna Kripa Karina Bhaktagane. According to the deliberate opinion of all real scriptures, the spiritual master is non-different from Krishna. Lord Krishna, in the form of a spiritual master, delivers the devotees. Purport. The relationship of a disciple with his spiritual master is as good as the relationship with the Supreme Lord. The spiritual master always represents himself as the humblest servitor of the personality of Godhead, but the disciple must look upon him as a manifested representation of the Lord. Acharyam mam vijaniyan navamanyeta karichit namarcha buddhya suyeta sarvadeva mayo guru. One may know that the Acharya is myself and never disrespect him in any way. One may not envy him. One should not envy him, for he is the representative of all the demigods. So you don't need to worship demigods if you worship the spiritual master. This is a verse from Srimad Bhagavatam 11:17-27, spoken by Lord Krishna when he was questioned by Uddhava regarding the four social and spiritual orders of society. The Lord was specifically instructing how a brahmachari should behave under the care of the spiritual master. The spiritual master is not an enjoyer of facilities offered by the disciple. He is like a parent. Without the attentive service of his parents, a child cannot grow to manhood. Similarly, without the care of the spiritual master, one cannot rise to the plane of transcendental service. The spiritual master is also called Acharya, or the transcendental professor of spiritual science. The Manu Samhita explains the duties of an Acharya, describing that a bona fide spiritual master accepts charge of the disciples, teaches them the Vedic knowledge and with all its intricacies, and gives them their second birth. The ceremony performed to initiate a disciple into the study of spiritual science is called Upaniti, or a function that brings one nearer to the spiritual master. One who cannot be brought nearer to the spiritual master cannot have the sacred thread, and thus he is indicated to be a Shudra. The sacred thread on the body of a Brahmin, Kshatriya, or Vaishya is the symbol of the initiation by the spiritual master, and is worth nothing if worn merely to boast of high parentage. The duty of the spiritual master is to initiate a disciple with the sacred thread ceremony, and after this samskar, our purificatory process, the spiritual master actually begins to teach the disciple about the Vedas. A person born as Shudra is not barred from such spiritual initiation, provided he is approved by the spiritual master, who is duly authorized to award a disciple the right to be a Brahmana, if he finds him perfectly qualified. In the Vayu Purana, an Acharya is defined as one who knows the import of the Vedic literature, explains the purpose of the Vedas, abides by their rules and regulations, and teaches his disciples to act in that way. Only out of his immense compassion does the personality of Godhead reveal himself as the Supreme Spiritual Master. Therefore, in the dealings of an Acharya, there are no activities but those of transcendental loving service to the Lord. He is the Supreme Personality of Servitor Godhead. It is worthwhile to take shelter of such a steady devotee who is called Ashraya Vigraha, or the manifestation of form of the Lord, to whom one must take shelter. If one poses himself as an Acharya but does not have an attitude of servitorship to the Lord, he must be considered an offender, and this offensive attitude disqualifies him from being an Acharya. The bona fide spiritual master always engages in unalloyed devotional service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. By this test, he is known to be the direct manifestation of the Lord and a genuine representative of Sri Nityananda Prabhu. Such a spiritual master is known as Acharya Dev, influenced by an envious temperament and dissatisfied because of an attitude of sense gratification. Mundaners criticize a real Acharya. In fact, however, a bona fide Acharya is non-different from the personality of Godhead. Therefore, to envy such an Acharya is to envy the personality of Godhead himself. This will produce an effect subversive to the transcendental realization. As mentioned previously, a disciple should always respect the spiritual master as a manifestation of Sri Krishna. But at the same time, one should always remember that a spiritual master is never authorized to imitate the transcendental pastimes of the Lord. False spiritual masters pose themselves identical with Sri Krishna in every respect to exploit the sentiments of their disciples, and such impersonalists can only mislead their disciples, for their ultimate aim is to become one with the Lord. This is against the principles of devotional cult. The real Vedic philosophy is Achintya Bheda Bheda Tattva, which establishes everything to be simultaneously one with and different from the personality of Godhead. Srila Raghunath Das Goswami confirms that this is the real position of a bona fide spiritual master, and says that one should always think of the spiritual master in terms of his intimate relationship with Mukunda, Krishna. Srila Jiva Goswami in his Bhakti Sandarbha has clearly explained that the pure devotee's observation of the spiritual master and Lord Shiva as being one with the personality of Godhead exists in terms of their being very dear to the Lord, not identical with him in all respects. Following in the footsteps of Srila Raghunath Das Goswami and Srila Jiva Goswami, and later acharyas like Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, have confirmed the same truths. In his prayers to the spiritual master, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur confirms that all the revealed scriptures accept that the spiritual master to be identical with the personality of Godhead because he is very dear and confidential servant of the Lord. Gaudiya Vaishnavas therefore worship Srila Gurudev, the spiritual master, in the light of his being a servitor of the personality of Godhead. In all ancient literatures of devotional service, and in more of the recent songs of Srila Narottam Das Thakur and Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur and other unalloyed Vaishnavas, the spiritual master is always considered either one of the confidential associates of Srimati Radharani or a manifested representation of Srila Nityananda Prabhu. Shiksha Guru Caitanya Krishna Raswarup Antaryami Bhakta Shesta Edui Rup. One should know the instructing spiritual master to be the personality of Godhead himself. Lord Krishna manifests himself as a spiritual super soul and is the greatest devotee of the Lord. Srila Krishnadas purport. Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami states that the instructing spiritual master is a bona fide representative of Sri Krishna. Sri Krishna himself teaches us the instructing spiritual master from within and without. He teaches us as the instructing spiritual master from within and without. From within he teaches as Paramatma, our constant companion, and from without he teaches from the Bhagavad Gita as the instructing spiritual master. There are two kinds of instructing spiritual masters. One is a liberated person, fully absorbed in meditation and devotional service. The other is he who invokes a disciple's spiritual consciousness by means of relevant instructions. Thus, the instructions of the science of devotion are differentiated in terms of the objective and subjective ways of understanding the acharya in the true sense of the term, who is authorized to deliver Krishna, enriches the disciple with full spiritual knowledge, and thus awakens him to the activities of devotional service. When by learning from the self-realized spiritual master one actually engages himself in the service of the Lord, functional devotional service begins. The procedures of this devotional service are known as avideya, or actions one is duty-bound to perform. Our only shelter is the Supreme Lord, and even one who the procedures, our only shelter is the Supreme Lord, and one who teaches how to approach Krishna is the functioning form of the personality of Godhead. There is no difference between the shelter-giving Supreme Lord and the initiating and instructing spiritual masters. If one foolishly discriminates between them, he commits an offense in the discharge of devotional service. Srila Sanatana Goswami is the ideal spiritual master, for he delivers one the shelter of the lotus feet of Madan Mohan. Even though one may be unable to travel on the field of Vrindavan due to forgetfulness of his relationship with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he can get an adequate opportunity to stay in Vrindavan and derive all spiritual benefits by the mercy of Sanatana Goswami. Srila Govindaji acts exactly like the Shiksha Guru instructing spiritual master by teaching Arjuna the Bhagavad Gita. He is the original preceptor, for he gives us instructions as an opportunity to serve him. The initiating spiritual master is a personal manifestation of Srila Madan Mohan Vigraha, whereas the instructing spiritual master is a personal representative of Srila Govindadev Vigraha. Both of these deities are worshipped at Vrindavan. Srila Gopinath is the ultimate attraction of spiritual realization. I think it's about time to cease. Yo naivo payant yapachitam kabayas tevesha brahma yu shapi kritam rida muda smaranta. Yo antar behis tanubritam ashubam vidum van acharya chaita vibhusha swagatim panapti. My Lord, transcendental poets and experts in spiritual science could not fully express their indebtedness to you, even if they were endowed with the prolonged lifetime of Brahma. For you appear in two features, externally as the Acharya and internally as a supersoul, to deliver the embodied living being by directing him how to come to you. Purport. This verse from the Srimad Bhagavatam 11.29.6 was spoken by Sri Uddhava after he heard from Krishna all necessary instructions about yoga. Tesham satyayuktanam bhajatam prita purvakam dadami bodhi yogam tam yenamam upayanti te. To those who are constantly devoted to serving me with love, I give the understanding by which they can come to me. Purport. This verse of Bhagavad Gita 10.10 clearly states how Govindadev instructs his disciple, the bona fide devotee. The Lord declares that by enlightenment in theistic knowledge, He awards attachment to Him to those who constantly engage in His transcendental loving service. This awakening of the divine consciousness enthralls the devotee, who thus relishes his eternal transcendental mellow. Such as awakening is awarded only to those convinced of devotional service about the transcendental, convinced by devotional service about the transcendental nature of the devout personality of Godhead. How do we become convinced? Is by service. Because then Krishna reveals. They know that the Supreme Truth, the all-spiritual and all-powerful person, is one without a second and has fully transcendental senses. He is the fountainhead of all emanations. Such pure devotees always merge in the knowledge of Krishna and absorbed in Krishna consciousness, exchange thoughts and realizations as great scientists exchange their views, and discuss the results of their research in scientific academics. Such exchanges of thoughts in regard to Krishna give pleasure to the Lord, who therefore favors such devotees with all enlightenment. And stopping there. Thank you very much. All glories to the assembled devotees. This book is available everywhere, so read it. Prabhupada's lectures on Caitanya Caritamrita are online. He gave lectures very early on in New York about Sanatana Goswami. Hari Hari Bipali Janamai Brihat Manuda. Haribo. Thank you for Krishnadas Kaviraja. At one point he thanks the readers for reading this book. And he's not getting paid for it, but he's just happy that people are reading it. That devotees thank people for having any interest in Krishna, for any desire to do service, and hearing and chanting is the basis of all the service. We have to do it all the time. Gauranga Ki Jai.